Two. This is Ashley, and I've got Kaylin with me here today.
Hi!
And this week we're going to be talking about eleganza thread and some of the things that you can do with it, specifically with a cording foot and some couching.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So show me what you're doing with the cording foot over here.
Okay, so we had done some couching earlier with just yarn, and I thought, let's make it even more fun, even more customized by adding our eleganza thread, which we have in our spools or balls here. And so what I've done is under my 5-quart foot, I've placed just my regular yarn, right?
Okay.
And then through 3 of the holes in my cording foot, I have run my eleganza thread.
Okay.
So you may notice too here that I have a piece of fabric under here. I'm doing that just to start, because I found that to catch everything just to begin, it's nice to have just a little bit of fabric under there.
Okay.
And then on the screen of the machine, you'll see that I have selected the triple zigzag stitch.
Okay.
That's going to be stitch 14 on this machine, and that is going to allow us to catch all of those cords
Got it.
on my yarn underneath.
Perfect.
So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to feed these cords between my fingers just to help keep them from, you know,
Kind of keep them separate.
yes.
Keep them
Now,
tangled up.
the foot itself keeps them untangled really well, but I like to have them untangled back here too, just so that it all runs smoothly.
That makes sense.
And then with my right hand, I'm gonna guide my yarn just to keep it relatively centered as well. It's okay if I veer a little off, just because it's meant to be playful, right? But I do want it to stay relatively centered, so I'm keeping it over the top of this line right here on my bobbin cover, because that's going to be my centered needle position.
Got it.
So I'm just going to start sewing here. And it's going to sew off that fabric, but even when it's off the fabric, you may notice it is still actually feeding my yarn on its own. I don't actually need to feed this. All I need to do is go back every few inches and pull a little bit of excess off of my spools so that it can continue to feed. And I'm just going to run this through for as long as my heart desires, really, until I think I have enough for whatever it is that I want to use this couching yarn on.
Okay.
So what we have then, if you look here, is this really nice multicolor kind of decorative yarn that we can now take over for any couching that we want to do with it. So next we're going to take you over to our embroidery machine and show you how we can incorporate a custom yarn like this with our eleganza into a embroidery design.
Perfect. Okie doke.
Okay, so now that we've made our couching material, which we have a few options on, I have a looser one here that I did with a longer stitch, and then the tighter one here, like what we just made on the soprano over there.
Nice.
I'm going to first pull up my embroidery design.
Okay.
So I'm on a Solaris, which has couching designs, although the Meridian 2 and the Altair 2 that are coming out this September or this fall are also going to have these couching designs included on them. Super exciting. So I'm just going to come here to where I see my C, which is for couching.
Perfect.
I have drawing designs, or I have alphabets. Today we just want to do our pretty little decorative kind of fleur-de-lis here.
Okay.
So all I need to do is hit set and embroider on that. It already is, you know, preset for couching. You may find on here that some of your usual options are not available. That's because it has to stay in this format for the couching to work properly.
That makes sense.
So I can move it and rotate it, but I can't resize on these because otherwise the couching won't work right.
Got it.
So what I have over here is just my 4x4 hoop ready to go. And I'm going to actually attach my couching guides in order for this yarn to easily feed under the needle.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my side guide here, and I'm just going to insert it into the opening that is already on the top of the machine for our couching.
Perfect.
And then I'm going to come over here to my regular spool stand, and I'm going to load the yarn. So I just have it kind of wound up in a ball right here. I'm going to feed it through both of the loops on the top of my telescoping spool stand. And then if you come around to the side here, you'll see I have 2 holes to feed my couching yarn into, just like that.
Perfect.
And then we have to go through the hole on the couching foot. This is not the same as the regular embroidery foot. This is going to be the Y foot that comes with that couching set.
Okay. And if you have a Solaris 1, that couching set comes in the first upgrade. If you have the Solaris 2 or 3, those would have come with your machine.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So I'm going to take, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but I have this
Yeah,
little wire. It's just like a needle threader. It just has my opening here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke the twisted end into the opening of the foot. I'm going to pull it part of the way through. And then I'm just going to take my couching material. I'm going to pull that wire open. I'm going to poke it through just like that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give it a tug. And you know, it's pretty thick material, so you may feel a little resistance. That's no problem. You just kind of give it a pull. And I want to make sure I leave a little bit of excess here on the outside of the design so that I have plenty to pull back to the back at the end of my design to tie off.
Perfect.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have my thread and my couching yarn together right here, and all I need to do is lower my presser foot and start my design. It's going to automatically feed that yarn because the needle is on the left hand side of that couching embroidery foot, and so it will attach it as it moves along. And so as it goes, I just need to make sure that this one little piece gets placed out of the way of the rest of the design. Otherwise you're going to have a little bit of extra design in there.
There you go.
And it's going to make this small sort of triangle repeating stitch to ensure that it tacks down my couching material as it runs through. You can see it's coming here from my my whole kind of sample of my couching material here. I do like to stay at the machine while these run because we want to make sure that our yarn can feed well. So this isn't necessarily a set it and forget it type of design. But you can see here as it goes through the couching, it's twisting and turning my material to reveal different colors of the different eleganza threads that I put in there at different points in the design, which gives it a really nice kind of three-dimensional feel, of course on top of the three-dimensional feel of couching in and of itself.
Nice.
So we have a beautiful way to give a really great decorative finish. You could put this on really anything you want. I think it would work best on things that are maybe a little heavier, like a bag or the top of a quilt, but really the world is your oyster on using these decorative couching designs.
We had a couple samples around here at one point of couching on the back of like a denim jacket too.
Yeah, okay, see, there you go. So a heftier fabric, yeah, it can also be a really great item for holding couching. And of course, this is a pretty dense yarn or dense couching material once we've added the eleganza, and so you've got all different options on that.
Yeah. Okay, looks like it's done.
Okay, so we've finished our design here, and so all I need to do is pull a little bit of extra material of my couching material and just give it a trim. I want to leave enough excess so that again I can pull both of these through to the back to tie them off to finish the project.
Nice.
And then if I'm doing more, I can just leave this couching material here. If I'm done, I can just remove it. And of course it trimmed my thread, just my embroidery thread at the end of the design.
Nice.
So we have then a really lovely decorative finish here.
Well, that was almost too easy.
Almost. And then I thought, well, what if I don't have the couching embroidery designs?
Yeah.
Well, couple things. Either if I have an Altair 1 or a Meridian 1, I can get an upgrade to those machines to add the couching feature to that. So super awesome there. But if I don't have one of those machines, I can also just use it in the sewing side of my machine.
Okay.
So here what I did was I made what I'm going to call some custom ticking on a towel. So ticking being kind of the lines that go along either side of the towel. I just took my purple marker and drew a line about an inch, 2 inches away from the edge. And then I centered my couching material on that line and just used my open toe foot, so the foot that doesn't have anything in the way before it gets to the needle, so that as it stitched left and right, even wider than the normal field that is capable of on a lot of our machines, it was able to push down that material and give it an extra decorative finish on my towel. So you have lots of different ways that you can use these custom couching materials.
That's a lot of fun.
It is. So today, what we have for you, because you know we have to give you a good deal on these things when we use them, is any of the Eleganza kits, like you see right here. They come in 9 or 12. I think that's the different ones. And they have
9, 12,
solids, variegateds, holiday themed ones, you name it. And those kits are going to be 15% off right now.
Nice.
If you buy 2 kits, so 1, 2, you can get the 5-cord cording foot that we use to make our custom material for half off.
Nice.
So it's normally $15.99, so that would make it about $8.
Math. Yes.
Steal, right? Yeah. Steal of a deal on a really useful foot.
Awesome.
The individual spools, you can see the one I was using here, but we do have lots of different colors. Again, variegated, solids, you name it. On those are going to be 30% off for the individual spools.
I love that.
And then for anyone who wants a special giveaway,
You know we have to do giveaways.
we have to do a giveaway. What we're doing is that if you like, comment, or share this video, you will be entered to win for free one of these wonderful 5-cord cording feet.
Perfect. And if you want to win that, you make sure you enter by Thursday evening at 5 p.m.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
So you want to tell them, remind them how they can do that?
Yes. If you want to win one of those 5-cord, 5-cord cording feet. That's a mouthful. Wait a minute. 5-cord cording feet. Say that 5 times fast.
No, thank you.
Make sure you either like, share, or comment by 5 p.m. on Thursday, and you can be at any of our 6 locations. We have 6 now, right?
We do have 6.
Math again. We've got Oklahoma City, Muskogee, Tulsa, Fayetteville, Springfield, and Humble. And just hop into your local store to get some of that thread.
Absolutely.
And make sure you like, share, and comment on this post, and you can maybe win one of these feet.
Super fun. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today at New at 2, and we'll